One of the other thing that I wanted to really go over today was another big thing that happened last week. I know last week we talked about Gemini, and then hot on its heels, we had another frontier model with Opus 4.5. And this is, like everyone, taking the YouTube, the X, everyone, this is the best model ever. Developers are now unemployed, like all the same headlines over and over again. So outside of the hype of what uh, Anthropic's Opus, what does it really mean for us? Well, there's a few things that really caught my eye that I really wanted to really talk about. So really, if we want to think about this world that we're going into and the world, you have to look at how a lot of these companies are structuring their models, right? You have some good, really big oracle of a model, thinking model that's really good. And then you have kind of like your workhorse, right? This is your Sonnet 4.5. This is kind of your daily driver. And then you have things like Haiku 4.5, which isn't on here, which is kind of like, hey, I'm redoing my documentation, or I'm doing these quick little, like easy, I need fast, low, cheap. What Opus 4.5 really, really does well is that it is really, really good, at coding. It's really good at data analysis, multi-turn reasoning. It's also really good at agentic use. And that's really, really what I want to focus on, because what I've been seeing on the different evals that I've been looking at is that its ability for tool use and being able to be a good orchestrator. So, for instance, so I would probably recommend trying out Opus 4.5 as your main orchestrator, and then have your sub agents being directed by that orchestrator, and then having your sub agents, your front end developer agent or your documentation agent, having those either be Haiku or Sonnet, so that a majority of the tokenization is done by the cheaper models, but Opus is getting those reports back, what was done, what was there, can help direct these AIs. And we've been seeing a lot of really good benchmarks on this. And one of the things that I wanted to play was in one of the podcasts, it talked about what does this mean for, everyone else. And there were some really good insights that I wanted to share with you on this. You guys can hear the sound, right?
Take it back to to our subscribers here. What does this mean for the average individual who's not using Opus 4.5 to code?
This is the inner. I think there are multiple levels of impacts. The highest level impact is I've spoken in the past about what I call the innermost loop of civilizational progress. This is the innermost insofar as we're starting to see models that are so strong that they can conduct research and generate code for better versions of themselves. That's the innermost recursive self-improvement loop. That I've argued in past, that's going to spin out and touch the rest of the economy. It's already in progress, but you'll see much more of it over the next 2 to 3 years as it solves fully robotics, physical world automation, leading to optimistically radical economic growth. So I would say that's the macro story. The micro story is, in the meantime, it's going to be trivial to generate programs, applications, complex workflows on demand, implicitly, explicitly mentioned in past. With the length of a tweet, you'll be able to create a AAA level first-person shooter or video game. People are going to be creating so much software, so much more software, so trivially, that will be drowning in AI-generated software of very high quality. That's the narrow micro impact in the short term.
Amazing. And please go ahead, Matt.
There's one other thing that's interesting in this, in that by itself, it scores 75% in multi-agent when it's the same agent, Opus 4.5. When they combined it with Haiku, which is a very low-cost agent, or Sonnet, it got up to 88%. So Opus is a really good orchestrator of agents. And this is the multi-agent support type of thing. And everyone was saying, well, agents can't look after other agents. This is the first agent that the first AI that provably can. And that opens up the whole swarm nature of things that we've been discussing.
So, yeah, I'm really, really excited about this. I think one of the biggest, and who just talked there, Emad, he was the creator of Stable Diffusion. He's no longer at Stable Diffusion, but he really drills on a really point that I really want to drill in here, is that a bigger brain isn't always the answer, right? Just, use the biggest model for every job, right? That is just not the case. You're going to end up wasting time, money, and really, it's like having Einstein write your tweets, right? Would you really utilize his time to write your tweets? Probably not. Would you have him orchestrate an entire team to do things? That's where you want, right? That's how you want to use these and think about these. Because orchestrated teams, they offer a lot of different versatility. When you have a very, very smart agent that can say, research that more, or, this isn't good enough, or they can really direct these smaller agents with good instructions that you've put in there, and with good, good instructions, good reinforcement learning, good fine tuning. These are things that you can really, really excel in. So, you want to build agent teams, not just a model upgrade. So this is why I'm a big proponent of Claude Code, even more so now, is because of its concept of subagents, managing a team of subagents. It's why we use agentflows way more, because that is essentially the different agent patterns of, having a powerful model be the orchestrator, and then having different agents as tools. So we really see that this kind of orchestration that can combine the different strengths, because some models like, Google's models may be really good at coding. Anthropic's are pretty good at coding, obviously, as well too. Maybe ChatGPT's better at writing. You have Llama that's really good for just quick summarization and tagging. This is where you start to really develop systems, not just a chatbot. That's it. Any questions or final words?
Nope, really good job with the presentation and all the news. Thanks a lot.
Excellent.